Hello and welcome to another episode of Coin Talks with the Hallenbecks.
Hey, welcome back to our YouTube channel.
This is Tom, and I'm his daughter Hannah.
Yeah, we're located here in Colorado Springs, about 2 blocks from the ANA headquarters, kind of coin mecca of the world.
Today we're going to talk about what the heck is a Lesher Dollar.
If you're not familiar with a Lesher Dollar, first off, get a red book. It's a great book. It has everything from half cents, colonials, all the way to $20 gold pieces. And at the front of the book is all the weird stuff like colonial coins. And at the back of the book is all the unusual things like Lesher dollars.
So one of the most interesting parts about a Lesher Dollar is right away the shape of this. When you see the sides on this right here, that's going to tip you away that it's not one of our regular circular Morgan dollars.
Yeah, these were privately issued by a guy named Joseph Lesher back in 1900 and 1901. Kind of the silver boom out of Cripple Creek. He actually lived in Victor, Colorado, which is about 6 miles from Cripple Creek. But Cripple Creek was the big town of the day. It was one of the world's richest mile of gold mining.
Cripplecreek, Colorado, and that's why we're excited about it here, is because as locals, this is a really neat collectible coin from our local area. Also, my grandpa, founder of this store, wrote a book on Lesher dollars, so we're really jazzed about them.
Yeah, this book is there's 3 authors, Bob Leonard, who's out of the Chicago area, my dad, Ken Hallenbeck, and a wonderful guy named Adna Wilde, former ANA treasurer and executive director, and he passed away a few years ago, but he was the real driving force behind the Lesher dollars.
So let's talk about some of these stamped on looks to that. What's going on here with the Leshers?
Well, Joseph Lesher, when he put these things out, he wanted to make something that would trade for $1. So he actually made them, and they say Lesher's referendum souvenir, just so he wouldn't be get in trouble with the government, because they really don't like people making their own coins. They're very protective about that.
So you're saying he was making a local currency?
Exactly. He was trying to make a local currency, and he got a whole bunch of the merchants to trade them amongst themselves. Probably the most common one is one called a Bumstead, A.B. Bumstead, and he was a local grocer in the Cripple Creek area, and he would accept these as a commodity will give in exchange merchandise at A.B. Bumstead. And the original ones say $1.25 on the back. It was an ounce of silver, and that was worth an ounce of silver was worth $1.25.
Cool.
So yeah, they were actually trying to make these things anything he could to make them as tokens and not coins. But eventually he got shut down by the United States government, and they confiscated the dies for making these things.
What about this one? Instead of saying a number, it says number 5, and the 5 is hand stamped.
Well, there were a bunch of merchants that wanted to do this, and unfortunately Joseph Lesher didn't really keep very good records. There was a Zerby, Farron Zerby, later on went it out. He was the one who first did the research on these things in the teens and the 20s. He came to Colorado because he wondered what these strange-looking coins were, and then he gave them Zerby numbers. So there's a Zerby 1, a Zerby 2, a Zerby 3, all these different Zerby numbers, and that's his way of cataloging them. But what happened was he would convince merchants, like this is J.M. Slusher, Cripple Creek, and they would punch the name in with a number, 1, 2, 3, 150, and they would put these out there. And some of them are very rare. Some of them are blank, where he was probably selling these, but the merchant never put their number in.
So really, he made this token strike with the silver and the value on it, and then he kind of handed out, sell them to the local merchants, and from there they'd put their name and their number on there?
Exactly. So it was made to promote the use of silver. In basically the turn of the century. Gold was kind of already waning in 1900. Silver they were really trying to promote the use of silver after the Pittman Act, and they were trying to pump up the price of silver. And he thought this was a good way. This is a J.M. Slusher. These things, to give you a rarity, I mean, you can never find any of these. The worst one known is going to bring you $1,000. Some of these things are easily 10, 20. This one in the red book is $45,000 in AU condition. So most of these are between $2,500 to, let's say, $5,000 to $7,000. But some of them, like the Nelson, and no one knows why they actually did it. This says J.E. Nelson and Company, Holdridge, Nebraska. Why is it Nebraska? If you're familiar with Colorado, Nebraska is a little bit east of us, and it's way out there.
Not very mountains or mines out there.
Now, they think one of the merchants, this merchant was a furniture store. He thinks a lot of people would come to the mountains in the summertime because it gets hot in Kansas and Nebraska and all these eastern plains. And then once they would plant the fields, they would come to Colorado and they would vacation in the nice cool mountains in the summertime. And then they would go back in time for the harvest. And they think that the Nelson was maybe a friend of Joseph Lesher, and he produced, they think, a few dozen of them, but they don't really know. There's only a few known. I think there's 4 or 5 known.
And this is one of them?
This is one of them.
Is this going up on our website?
Yep, these are going on our website. So
all of these right in front of us will head up on our website, so take a look there just so you can see some really neat collectible pieces, specifically from the Colorado mining era. They are certified by PCGS and NGC, so that's interesting as well, that PCGS and NGC don't only certify U.S. coins.
And if you do get one of these things, take a look. We'll throw in one of these books, hand-signed by my father, Ken Hallenbeck. So it's a regional book called The Forgotten Colorado Silver. So it's a great book and a lot of really interesting research.
And just a really neat piece of U.S. history here as that westward expansion going and kind of your western frontier days of people doing their own thing, getting the community together, rally behind, Joseph Lesher had the idea, let's do this, and it did take on, to a certain extent at that time.
Yep, exactly. So we're going to put all these Lesher dollars. Some are already on our website. We're adding a few more now.
If you have any further questions, leave a comment below. If you learned something about some cool historical pieces, give us a thumbs up here. As a personal collector of Leshers, we were excited to show you something local to our area that you might not see or you might not have heard about before.
Yep, have a good time. As always, have fun collecting, and see you next time.